Before I start, I would like to share some thoughts with you regarding some crucial question I suppose that is somebody has to address, and I think that the sport movement society is the most relevant in order to do this one. I think it's time to consider and to verify what is the sport prosthetic which we aim to. Because actually today we have to define where exactly we have to go. We have to go with the dimension of sport for all. We have to go more in the dimension of the top level athletic sport, because this is very good for our image, country image, and so on. And from the other side, what is the sport legacy and the perspectives which we have to give to the new generation or the youth athletes? Of course, we have to go through the other question, which is very relevant to the Olympic movement, which we have to answer if we really accept and respect the spirit, the Olympic spirit. So this is some question which I suppose that sometimes we have to address and we have to discuss. Going to my presentation, I think that the factors which relate to that question we have done, the factors that the persons and generally the kids or the children or the youth athletes wants to involve with the sports, it's one of the main subject of this study. So basically we try to find out why they involve to the sport, why they continue to the sport, and why they SQ or they quit from the sports. This is information which is very significant for not only for the authorities, but also for the trainers, for the person which live around the sports system. So this research study, it's a study which involved with a program which is implemented in Greece, and it's for youth athletes. This program is aimed to promote the involvement to the sport activities according to their ages and according to their abilities. And of course, in the end, in the conclusion of all this, we orient them to the different sports according to their abilities, according to their characteristics, anthropometric characteristics, and the physical conditions. So, just to give you a background of all this program and how it operates, this program is generated and developed by the General Secretary of Sport, the Greek General Secretary of Sport, and implemented through the Directory of Developing Ages. So the implementation process has 4 different phases. One is the measurement of these youth athletes, the abilities and the different characteristics through the 5 different skills. So, trial of different skills. So, the next phase is to identify what is the best 3% of these athletes, and according to their performance, to the 5 different skills. And the third phase is that to develop 200 cells group, as we call it, which we include these specific athletes who has involved with these trials, and they are past the 3%, the top level 3%. The training process is for them about 2 years. So in the end of this phase, we have the physical skill measurement again, and in the end of the 2 years training, we orient them in the different sports according to their skills. So, just briefly, I think that this is a system which is almost the same for every country. The national teams in the national teams participate the athletes from the local clubs, which give the athletes and involve with the sport, the different sports, according to the national federation. And of course, national federation, they select the athletes for the national team. And for the Olympics, of course, the Olympic Committee, the National Olympic Committee for every country, select the Olympic national team in order to be in the Olympics or the international meetings. So all this system is supported by the Director of Development Ages in order to give to stimulate and to give some extra strength to this system. So the method which we of the study, it was we have, I don't know if you can see that. There is no. Okay. I thought that all this time you could see, you know, in the that which I have said. So sorry about that. So the method which we proceeded was that 1,960 children has been involved to this one, aged from 9 to 10, and the research was accomplished in all the regions of the Greece. So the second year we measure again all these persons and we use a questionnaire which just to see what is the reactions and what is the benefits of all this from the kids and what is the opinion, why they continue or why they want to quit. So this is in order to see what is the difference between the different areas. We divide it in 3 different prefectures and regions. One is the Attica prefecture, which actually it includes the capital of the country. The Thessaloniki prefecture, which actually includes the co-capital and all the other regions. So, according to the results, it seems that, I don't know if you can see, it's very visible, but you can see with green, you can see the Attica prefecture, what is the result of Attica prefecture for the person who can remain in the groups, in the cells, in the second year. This is for the Thessalonica prefecture and this is for all the other regions. You can see that the remain persons in the groups, in the cell groups, in the second year was more in the other region rather than the capital area or the co-capital. The affiliates also, for the rest of the region, they affiliate more in the clubs than the other prefectures, and you can see that SQ, less person from the groups or from the sport generally, than the Attica, which actually is the capital and the co-capital area. This is very crucial and we have to address this one, why the person from the cities, they don't prefer to involve, what is the reason that they don't involve with the sports, or they quit so easily. From the other side, you can see the difference in the selection of the sports. For example, in Attica area, you can see that the basketball, which is the green one, it's the majority, took the majority of the person who is affiliated to the clubs. The football was the second one, and the third was the athletics. In the region of Thessalonica, football was more interesting. The youth athletes, they interest more for the football, less than for the basketball, in athletics and swimming. Of course, there was more in gymnastics. It's very interesting for gymnastics because I will explain later on why it was these reasons. If you can see here, in the rest of the region, you can see that it's more well distribution of the sports which they have selected. And this is a very crucial point for us in order to develop later on the athletic, the sports development in different areas and different sports. So, another interesting one, it was why they start and why they continue to sports. So the different answers they gave us, for example, the excitement of the sport, it was the majority, so they liked the sport, so that's because they selected. The second one was the health and physical conditions. The third one, it was the being on a team. It's very significant for them to be in a team, not in a team sport, but being, for example, in swimming team. That means that I'm part of something which we try to aim. The fourth one was the personal accomplishment. You can see different other things like it's more, I mean, this is the percentage of all these. So it's the 6% testing skills against the others. Social reason was a very significant, has a very significant percentage as well. We have the sport venue availability, how close it's the sport venue, and that's because I bought that, and so on. And of course, the optimization of the loop, it's very small, so it wasn't the main motivation for them in order to be in the sport. So, compared to all this, you can see that the majority of the person, they try to understand, we try to understand why they're over there, and the answers, it's that the excitement of the sport, I like the sport, it's more close to my ambitions or my feeling or my nature. The other one, it was that the personal accomplishment, of course being part of a team, and I told you that this means that I want to be in one team which we try to do something, and improve my skills, and so on. So this is the first idea why they be over there, and it's very crucial for the trainer, very crucial for the clubs, and very crucial for the development of the sport. The other one is that the higher percentage of SQ of the young people is a significant issue, and as you can see, the capital areas and the cities, it doesn't give you the opportunity in order to participate in the sport, so it's very easy to go away from the sports. And from the other side, I think that the availability of the infrastructures is a very significant issue, and this has to do with the ability in order to be in sports. So, conclude all this, I will tell you that we have to think that the significant differentiation which were presented in the choice of the sport activities among the three regions and the distribution of the sport, it's a very good, for us, it was a very good stimulation in order to plan later on our sport development in our country. So this is, you can say, a very good approach of what the youth athletes expected from us and how we can treat them. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, George. It's question time.
Because I continue. And the most important thing is that whenever we conclude this program, and maybe I didn't have the time in order to say that whenever we conclude this program, whenever we thought that they are not able or they don't want to continue in a, you can say, in a specific sport, we try to orient them in a different sport for all programs, which we have in the General Secretary of Sports in Greece, so we try to don't lose them. So the main idea of this one, of course, you're right, that is that I want to play, that's because I'm here. So the excitement of the sport and being in a team is a very significant percentage, as you can see, and that's because we try to give them some stimulation in order to be over there and to play. Sometimes we can see that, especially in the team sports, whenever I'm in the bench so long, I quit from the team sport, I quit from the sport. This is wrong. We have to define what is sports and why we want it. That's because I put it, and I'm sorry because you haven't seen in the screen, that the question which we have to address like a sport movement.
Thank you. Second question. Thank you, George.